So I hope and pray that just with the raise of hand, do you all agree, based upon the Jewish scriptures, the Christian and the Muslim scripture, the Quran, that every life is equal? If that is the case, that means us as humans, right? I'm not speaking about as a Muslim or a Jew or a Christian. Us as humans, we should protect every single life. Who says that? Not because I'm emotional. The Quran is saying that. And I think the Talmud also says that. The Quran is saying in chapter 5, verse number 32 to be exact. So I'm quoting from the Quran, here is the translation, that saving one life is like saving the life of all of humanity. And taking one life is like taking the life of all of humanity. And God does not say a Muslim life over here. Every life is equal, every blood is sacred, and every soul is precious in the eyes of God. So one action item for each single one of you, especially the Muslims and our Jewish friends and each single one of us, that if we say and if we believe that life is equal, that means our condemnation should be equal from anyone who is taking human life. If it's not equal, that means either we don't agree with that premise or we are a hypocrite. Right? Point number 2. That every oppressed people, by any international law, they have the right to fight back and they have right to freedom. But Quran gives, some guidelines how to fight back, by the way, really important. Even in a just fight, the Quran says in chapter number 2, verse number 190, that you cannot go to extreme. And Muhammad, peace be upon him, he said, you cannot hurt, you cannot harm, you cannot kill non-combatants. No exceptions to the rule. Because if we start giving exceptions, that means we don't believe in the premise that every life is equal. The reason we are supporting the Ukrainians is because they are being occupied by Putin and his government. And the reason this 1776 revolutionary war happened, because we want to do away with the occupation by the British. And the reason we praise Gandhi is because he was against the occupation by the British on India. So if we care for freedom, freedom cannot be only for one entity, it has to be freedom for all of humanity. And last but not the least, right? Last but not the least, especially for the Muslims and our friends over here, fight for the right fight and be a peacemaker, not only just when the Muslim cause is in the focus, not when only Muslims are suppressed, we should equally stand up if our Jewish friends are oppressed. We should equally stand up if our African American, Native Indians, anyone who is oppressed, anyone who needs help, all of us, not as Jews and Christians and Muslims, as humans, we should all rise up. And I think that's the way for peace. And may God guide us, may God bless us, and may God remove the oppression and help us to live as brothers and sisters. Ameen. Thank you.